Good afternoon, class. In this brief video, we'll be looking at the Jain concept of Aparigraha, or non-possession, which is one of the five vows in Jainism. We'll be relating it to the other four vows, as well as to the concept of the four poisons, the three jewels, the concepts of attachment and aversion, and the notion of equanimity or imperturbability. This is just a brief sketch on how some of these concepts interact with each other and relate to each other in Jainism. And this is under the metaphysical paradigm of karma. So this will all be relating to the accumulation of karma and how karma is caused. So let's first list the five vows, and they are ahimsa, or nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, celibacy, and non-possession, or aparigraha. And these vows are taken in a very strict form by the Jain monks and nuns. And as we've looked at, they are taken in a more moderate form by the Jain laity. So, for example, and I think probably the best example would be the Aparigraha. Um, the monks and nuns are allowed to have very limited possessions. And whereas the laity are living in the world and interacting in the world in a much more thorough way, are allowed to have possessions, but not excessive possessions. And there's a stress to have not have a psychological attachment to the possessions. So, for example, individual would not have more, say, clothes or outfits than they need, and they wouldn't have attachment to those outfits. Um, another um, another way of distinguishing the intensity of the vows would be with the vow of ahimsa. Um, a Jain monk or nun would not own the possessions to cook or make food, whereas as laity would. And so the Jain monk or nun would be dependent on others in the community for the meal. So this would stress both the vow of paragrapha, or non-possession, in that they would not own the means to prepare the meal, but it also stresses the vow of ahimsa, um, whereas they would not want to do harm to any living creature by preparing food, such as creating a fire in which a insect might fly into the flame. And so these are two ways of sort of stressing the some of the differences. Also, a Jain monk or nun does not have a property or a permanent place in which they live. They stay at one location for no more than 3 weeks at a time, and then they walk on foot without shoes to another location, a location they can get to in a day's time, because they would not want to walk at night, because they could possibly do harm to a creature, such as like an insect, if they were to step on the insect. And also, they do not take any other means of transportation, such as a car or a bicycle, because they could, um, by accident, run over or crush a creature. There is, if by the descriptions, you should note there is quite a bit of mindfulness, sort of a constant mindfulness on the idea of not doing harm to any other creatures, and it's built in to the day-to-day routine, and even to a larger degree to the moment-to-moment existence. And so this is the stress of no harm or ahimsa in the life of the Jain monk or nun. And we could see how it is somewhat different in degree and from that of the laity, and how there is we might say, a dependence on the laity from the monks and nuns to provide these material needs. So when one practices the five vows, the greater vows for the monks or nuns, or those in the lesser extent for the laity, it helps to overcome the four poisons. And those four poisons are anger, greed, pride, and deceit. And you may have heard of the poisons. A similar idea in Buddhism, the three poisons, which I believe are anger, greed, and ignorance. There's similar overlap, but this is these are the Jain four poisons. And when actions are done motivated by any one of these, the pride, the anger, um, the greed, or the deceit, the karmic impact is high. And so we can see from the five vows that they if practice, overcome or abate the intensity or effect of these four poisons, which, if actions are done with these elements, the karmic impact can be great, and negative. It would be a negative karmic impact. In a similar sense, the three jewels of Jainism, um, right insight, um, right knowledge, and right conduct, also prepare the practitioner to overcome these four uh, poisons and negative karmic impact that might be done from them. Right insight or right view, having the right view on life, and this particularly when in relation to um, not having attachment uh, to the material possessions. This is where Aparigraha comes in, and also not doing harm to any creature, knowing that all creatures, all life forms have the potential for liberation, not necessarily in their current form, but in the human form, and not doing them any harm, and assisting all creatures. So this would be part of the right insight, as well as the right knowledge, and later or put into practice right conduct or right action. Again, you may or may not be familiar with the idea of the three jewels or gems. This is again different from Buddhism, in which the three jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. This in Jainism, it is right insight, right knowledge, and right conduct. Now, if one puts the five vows into practice, and also within the context of the three jewels, um, the aim is to have a lack of attachment, um, and a lack of aversion to circumstances. And if one operates in existence with a lack of attachment in the sense of a paragrapha, and a lack of aversion, particularly to any changing circumstances, one can achieve a sort of a state of being of imperturbability or equanimity, in which one is not negatively impacted by the circumstances, and in which the negative karma can will not accumulate, particularly in a severe fashion, such as the fashion in which actions are done by the four poisons, or through aspects of those poisons. So this is a just a brief outline on how some of these concepts relate. We'll go into uh, each aspect of or each concept in greater detail, but this just gives a bit of a summary on how some of these concepts relate. The five vows to the four poisons, to the three jewels, to the um, method to try to overcome attachments and aversions so that one can achieve equanimity or imperturbability. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Canvas. Thank you.